Okay. I believe it to be recording now. Let's see. What did you hear? We're looking for our dives. We got the Sombra and Tracer to follow up on it. We got the Zen.
Yeah.
Classic dive top here. Ooh. I don't hate that bubble though, because
It's a little early.
right. But our DPS aren't there. Like, we know they need time to get set up. So if we use this bubble to clear this high ground while our DPS are setting up, we're taking attention. So I think it was fine.
There was a little bit of a miscommunication in this first part. There was a lot of talk about them being in top cave and we needed to take top cave.
Oh, I remember that.
And
I don't
so,
think.
yeah.
I think. I'm
It
going to
was
be
really
honest.
just-
I don't
yeah.
think people necessarily did say there were people there, but he heard something
Yeah, I was
else.
gonna say.
But
I
don't think.
think the
it's not
call
a-
was just to take
problem.
top cave.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. We just
Either way,
misunderstood. I do remember that
if
part.
you watch because this is gonna look real goofy, real fast.
Right, you guys
that's
rotate.
why.
I like the GM while we're rotating.
Yeah. Again, a lot of confusion here.
Okay. So first of all, and I said I'm not gonna focus on the engage part too much.
Okay.
But we didn't really. We were jumping. Do we have a target?
Not specifically, in a lot of ways. My initial goal was to pressure the Sig back. The more we can kind of have the front of this, the more we can sort of start to pressure out the rest of the people on the gas. So at least in my mind, it was more about space than a particular target.
I think we create space though by forcing like a target. Like we create space by threatening someone dying. That's why people give space. They don't want to die.
Sure.
So it is pretty important to be focusing down a target, and then in turn that will create space because to keep that target alive, they use cooldowns, move away from us. So that's fine. I think if we're going on the Sig, which is fine, like our prior, we don't plan on winning this fight here.
Right.
So going onto the Sig, you're not going to win the fight, but you're okay with that. You're just focusing on creating space. We got the Discord on him. Use your bubble to split off heals. Like we kind of jumped over to here when the Sigma was playing right here. If we had jumped like towards
Can we
the
rewind
Sig,
a bit?
yeah, we can go rewind a
Yeah,
bit.
I'm gonna take a look at this.
Yeah. You see how we engaged, like... we engaged over to the right here.
It's even a little bit. It's a little bit too. Yeah, it's definitely too far.
If we had engaged, like, even just on top of them and put our bubble down, we're splitting off the heals. So, we are creating the space because Sigma knows that I can't get healed here. I have to leave so I can get healed, which means you're creating space. Because if he doesn't get healed, then good chance he gets bursted down.
If I'm over the sign, though, I just want to make sure I'm picking up exactly what you're putting down here. Are you saying going over the big old sign, or not?
So if you have knowledge about what their comp is, you don't have to go over the sign.
Yeah.
Right, because eventually, once your bubble breaks, you're going to be staying here. Anyways, so
Just kind of going
just
between
jumping
the gas and
onto the
big arrow
sig
sign.
and putting the bubble
Okay.
in.
Okay. Yep.
Because
Yeah,
when you put the bubble
makes
down,
sense. I wasn't. Yeah.
it does create a little bit, but they still have all
Yeah.
this high ground that they can still play around.
Yeah.
Okay, but now
I
we
just
want
want
to
to make sure
focus
you
on.
weren't saying just go over the sign, because then I was going to be like, but then no one can. The supports can't see.
Yeah,
me, and I'm
no,
in the
you
middle of
wouldn't.
6
I mean,
people.
you do that, and
So-
then you rotate back towards your team. If you do that, like,
Okay.
right, you
Okay,
do want to be
gotcha.
staying in your sports line of sight.
Right.
Okay. What do we do next? Let's see. Nothing? We just kind of sat down here.
Yeah. I mean, I was waiting for Bubble to come back up. Well,
I don't think you need bubble
okay.
because you have this giant big arrow sign blocking the team.
Sure.
And their team, besides Sigma and a little bit of Hanzo, Hanzo will peak when he has storm arrows, which is just something to keep in mind. But besides those two, no one on their team actually wants to go in front of this sign. Because if you're staying here, your team has this space.
Yeah.
Which means that they're putting themselves into line of sight of the rest of your team.
Mm.
So, and normally your team would be playing maybe here.
Yeah.
So playing here, it's a little awkward because they have a line of sight already onto your team without playing on the signs. But usually your team is going to be playing here, where they don't have a line of sight unless they move past the big Earl sign, and our team has something to poke around this wall here. So it's pretty favorable for us,
Right.
and not for them. Emmy,
Yeah.
what should we do here? Right? We engaged. If you're Lux, you're the monkey. We engaged. We got booped off by the rock, I think. Or for some reason we dropped. I think it was the rock.
It was the rock.
We have our jump cooldown back. What would you do?
I'd go back to what's it called? The base setup thingy bridge. Like get the fuck out until we're ready, because Nox is dead, and nobody else is set up really. So I'd retreat.
Okay. We are down one. I think you can play on sign though. It's very favorable for you guys here to be playing on the sign. And like I said before, like there's not a whole lot they can do without exposing themselves except for the Sigma, who you're okay. Like Sigma isn't going to burst you down very quickly. We know he doesn't have rock. So with that said, if you do want to go back to your team, I think that's fine as well. But staying underneath here, not necessarily where we want to be, because if they like send someone drop down, it's not the worst place because they're probably not going to drop down. Yeah.
I mean, they could send Hanzo. Hanzo's
could send
pretty
Hanzo.
free.
Right. It's not ideal, I don't think.
I feel great.
The payload rests idle.
Pushing the payload. Good. No, they have Sonic. Rocks is out. Okay. Okay. So, I think going back on top there was not the best decision.
Okay.
So, I don't think it was bad. I think we could have probably. Well, yeah. Here's what I would have done instead and why. So,
Yep.
we use a primal. That's great. We end up picking up that. Awesome. That's what we want to be doing. Right here,
Mm.
we know Mercy's Valky. So, keeping that in mind, Mercy is definitely not going to be a target. And everyone is getting the heal from Mercy. So, it's going to require target focusing.
Yeah.
We see Tracer's on the low ground, looking at the Sig. Diva is on the high ground. We also probably know, that the Ashe is also still on the high ground. We could assume it. Pretty safe assumption. And you'd be correct if you made that assumption. And Bap and Hanzo are gone. That means that Sigma, there's no one around that corner, especially because Nox isn't looking at anyone else. Sigma is the only one on the ground here. We already have our Tracer looking at the Sigma. Our Diva is on the low ground. We could burst down the Sigma probably pretty quickly if we dove onto him. And we have the bubble to do it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, looking at the situation here, knowing where the Tracer is, yeah, that's pretty obvious.
So I think it's fine. Phantom probably called out a target here. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not.
Maybe, yeah. But
But
either way, no, yeah, like it's a very obvious opportunity target. Tracer's right there. Yeah.
so they just
I don't think
burst us down really well.
we
We didn't bubble dance.
In the moment, I didn't know where Nox was, and that is a problem.
Right. I mean, and that's you could see him there. Like we do have that information available to us.
Well,
it is difficult to see. So,
yeah, my
right.
my object recognition and permanence is a little rough, but there's mouths, and I should be working more with specifically Nox of everybody. I should be knowing where he is at all times, and if we let that slip, then we let that slip, and that's going to cost us.
Right. And even if we don't know where our team is, in that scenario, we know they're down.
Right.
We know they're down the Bap and the
primary
Hanzo.
healer.
We know the Diva is up there. We know the Mercy is in the sky.
Yeah.
And pretty safe assumption to say that the Ashe is on the high ground.
Yeah.
So even if Nox wasn't there, I still think that going after the Sigma here would be a pretty good decision, unless the DPS were making a call out to go onto the high ground. And maybe Phantom made one, maybe not. Even if he did, we'll just assume it's not, because I don't think that would be correct there. But yeah, okay.
Nope. Yep.
Don't need to beat the horse, dead horse. I don't know how that saying goes.
That's very fancy. Being part of the horse.
Re-engaging.
Okay, we're going back.
60 seconds remaining.
Okay, I'm not worried about that.
Round. Ready for battle.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was pretty sad.
This will
That's not good. But definitely, that's
Yeah.
not. That just means we can't go in. Like for the 12 seconds after we put it down, and we didn't get any value because we can't extend further. Because once Hanzo breaks that bubble, which he will very quickly, then
An extra
we're
2 seconds of hard push done.
out in the open. Right. So this is not ideal. We should be taking the high ground from the Sigma here instead, because it's pretty easy to us to drop back onto the pit. You probably contest it from that corner as well.
Yeah.
So we got the Discord on the Sigma. We have bubble available, or no, we don't. We do. So definitely do that. Also remember that if you're trying to mitigate taking damage for just a second, like you're being healed by Kitty, but you're also taking damage faster than Kitty can heal.
Right.
Just try. This might not be. I don't know. They might do this in OWL. Maybe they don't. I don't remember if I've ever seen it. What will at least work in lower elos? I don't know if this works in higher elos. I'd have to ask someone who does play Winston. If you just jump straight into the air, you're putting yourself out, like, especially when you hit like your max height from your jump, you're putting yourself out of hit scan's range distance now, so you'll take less damage for a brief moment. You're also just making yourself really hard to hit for a period of time. So especially when you're contesting the point like that, just if there's no I think jumping to the high ground does take priority once you do that. But then after you've taken that high ground, you still need to be touching. You're using the payload as cover. You could just jump into the air, and then you also go back to the ground to get that extra damage from your jump and continue to kind of play around the payload. I don't know if that's actually a competitive thing or if it's just things you'll get away with in
I think it does kind of depend. It's got to, right? Because otherwise you're just a very predictable arc. And like,
well,
anybody who knows how to shoot should be able to follow
Right.
you all the way down.
So it's worked when I play Monkey.
Sure. No,
I don't know. That's just what
get it.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, I don't think there's anything wrong with not doing it. Just maybe you want to try it out sometime. But it's not a big deal. Okay. But I think you were able to touch here. Yeah.
Helden sterben nicht.
Pass into the eye.
Unfortunate.
Der Kampf ist noch nicht vorbei.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Okay. Waiting for spawns. Okay. I think. Yeah, we should be holding here, not here,
Yeah.
because we can make it pretty difficult for them to want to take this high ground.
Okay.
Just how
I'm with you, but I'm worried in this particular instance because I think at the time it was like just me, Anna, and Phantom.
so
And
I
yeah.
think did Frank die?
Frank was last to die. Yes, he died on cart.
Okay. So I kind of knew that, but
Uh-huh.
let's see.
No, no, Frank's right there. How did Frank get back so fast?
Yeah, I don't think Frank died. I think he got out.
Huh. Okay. Well, I don't know how he got out because he was
Well,
using his almost entire transcendence on the card. So
yeah, I guess they didn't chase him.
they didn't chase him.
But-
I guess is what it comes down to.
I mean, that's why they're taking this high ground, because they did not chase him. So, yeah, I think, and even if you were down that many people, you can see. We probably don't look, but we can know that they're not. There's 2 people that won't be there, so there's only going to be 4 people there.
I suppose. Yeah. Okay.
And even if we think we have 3 people, we know we're going to be getting our diva very soon. And
Okay.
it's going to take them time to push out of that choke. And we're only soft holding as well.
Right.
They don't have a Lucio to speed into us. I definitely think that holding there would have been really, really strong. At very least,
Okay.
we might force out ultimates.
Yep. Nope. Makes sense.
Okay. Emmy,
Yes.
what is our plan here?
As in, like, right now?
Yeah.
I'd say take that cave spot where Luna is right now. Like,
Okay.
I don't get what you mean by the question other than that.
No, I'm just, yeah, I think that's fine. Just what are we going to be doing? And I think,
Well, it's a good spot with sightlines if we wanted to use them, but also for like Frank, but also stops them from getting that high ground, and it's also a good setup spot where we could jump down if we wanted to contest, but also
Yes.
come back up.
we don't care really about sightlines. We do care about their sightlines, and we do want somewhere to stage our dives from. So that is what that spot, if they have it, gives them very big sightlines. If we have it, we have a really good, like, diving point, a point to dive from. All right, we do take it. Very nice. Very nice. Awesome. So, I think at this point, we probably should have just re-engaged sooner.
Yeah.
We really didn't spend any resources at all, maybe besides bubble, to win that. So we can keep the tempo, like, going, right? I think that's the thing with dive. With dive, usually the tempo is very bursts. It's very high for a period of time, and then it's not.
Yeah.
In dive, you're always wondering, asking, when can we increase the tempo again? You don't want long periods of time to get your cooldowns back, because that's time that your opponent has to rotate, to get their cooldowns, to heal up. So you take the time that you need, and then that's it. So
Yeah.
we should have probably been looking for a re-engage sooner. If we had, I think there's a chance we might be able to get this Ash. Maybe we still can.
EMP activated.
Oh, That's not a good EMP, unfortunately. Ooh. I think we could. Well,
No, staying there probably like should have been the call, honestly.
yeah,
Because like
Yeah.
we don't like me living through that flux, like doesn't mean anything since we lose our entire backline. So getting kills back during the flux is the only way to potentially pull this into a win. So no, absolutely, I should have stayed up there.
yeah.
Obviously, if I hadn't wasted the bubble on the previous jump, then like I wouldn't have felt the need to drop.
I mean, I don't think it was even. I don't think that was a waste. You don't need bubble to keep this high ground.
Well, yeah, it's true, but it makes you feel better. But
I mean, you are just because you can
Yeah.
poke and then drop whenever you need to, and you're literally dropping into a mega whenever you need to, is a
Yeah.
very strong position to be holding. So
yeah, the second I lose distance
Yeah.
on the Sigma, it should be turned right around on the Hanzo and try to kill him.
oh,
This does less than nothing.
okay, so that's what we're looking for. Like, what do we do after we have the plan?
Yep.
We had the plan. It was going to stop the Sigma from pushing through, stop their team from pushing through. The Sigma uses Flux to create space, to find a pick, set up their Hanzo to find the pick.
Mhm.
But then what do we do now? Like, we had the plan, and
Yeah.
it's just looking for key things like where they are, where we are, and we know that we are still in a very strong position. We're down our Ana. They are not, so we need to play quickly. When we're down our supports, we have to play even faster because we do damage faster than other people do healing. So if we take long, drawn out fights, they're just going to out sustain us. So try to increase the tempo there, like push them out again. You have the resources. You have Primal and you have Bomb. They do not leave there unless you let them. So
Yeah.
now, granted, if they were also pushing, who were they pushing? Who is there? Because I don't think there should have been anyone
Top
there.
I think was Bap, Hanzo, and Sig maybe. Mercy on cart with Ash.
All right, so it's a very strong Flux. So unfortunate. Not a whole lot. We didn't have our trance up yet, so not a whole lot we can do about that. If we had kept this high ground, you are playing for picks at that point.
Yeah.
Phantom and Nox, it's going to be so hard for them to try and find picks with this Diva there. So
Yeah.
it's
It is a Hanzo arrow on the Ana. They got two squishies right in the doorway to a small room. I have Primal. This was a huge drop ball on my part. This should be they land at 50% health. I Primal their two squishies into that room and kill them both. That's what should happen.
yeah. Emmy, what is this? Is that you? It was. Okay. I don't know why we did that. Okay. I mean, we're trying, but we're not initially planning on stalling. Stalling is not our concern right here.
Okay.
When do we get back? Because we do have our Sombra, albeit they are low. Okay, they're back, so they can stall. We get hit by the Bob. This, I think, taking this high ground. I know we were probably eager to get out of the BAP's line of sight, but if we had instead chosen to bubble off the BAP and push the BAP off the high ground, that is so huge. Now they just totally wasted their matrix, and we're on their BAP, and we have primal, so we don't die.
Yeah.
Stall, not a concern. We have Diva or Tracer or
And there's still a decent bit of push here too.
Sombra. Yep.
So
So
need to be this seeker, yeah.
get this BAP off the high ground. Should be priority number 1. Why do we... Oh. We keep going back to this... We keep going back to the cart. It's a magnet. We're so attracted to this cart. The only thing... The cart can go as far as it wants, as long as it doesn't hit that golden tick marker. If it goes any close, as long as it doesn't hit that tick, we're fine. We don't care. Winning the fight takes priority, so... I think in this fight we just really prioritize the payload.
Yeah.
The payload has reached
Miracle of science.
One second. Alright, sorry.
Dein Schutzengel ist da.
Okay, so... Emmy, what is our plan here?
Set up at the high ground where that platform is right now.
Where the
And-
Sigma is?
No, across from him. The moving platform thing. Bridge or whatever it's called. Truck.
Oh,
Mhm,
on
we were gonna-
truck?
Well, kind of ahead of truck.
So, right here?
Yes.
Not a big fan of that. Because, I mean,
I mean, if you stand right there, yeah, but
so right here.
yeah.
So,
Then
what's
you just
stopping
drop-
Hanzo, Ash, and Sigma from just taking the high ground there and poking us out?
So we should take where Sigma is?
We can. We can. But we need to be we need our entire team to do that.
And I guess
Do
set up
can we?
truck. Yeah, but you said we need the entire team.
Do we have like right now? Could we? Do you think the team is ready? Could we try and make a play to get on to the Sigma's high ground?
Maybe?
Maybe is right. It would be very aggressive. But I do think we could. So if we went for that play, let's say it's successful. We don't net any kills. We don't spend any of our alts. But we're able to push the Sigma off the high ground. What do we do then, Lex?
Well, from there we have a kill box right at the first corner, and we just look for a target and go.
Okay. So if we don't get it that far, so if we don't go for this high ground, where do we go instead?
I mean, you could take the top left here.
This little cubby?
Yeah, right there. That's a possibility. That gives you a spot to go from at least. That's outside of poke range, aside from top right. But our DPS are holding right, so they shouldn't be able to take that for free. And if they do, we can cross that gap.
Okay. What's our kill box if we set up there?
Pretty much in front of weapons.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Which
How do they deal with us if we do that?
I mean, they need top right,
Okay.
pretty much.
And
Like,
how do
that's-
we deal with them if they try to do that?
I mean, if they are pushing to the right, I mean, they would need to send more than our tracer could handle there, to go take that. And then, I mean, mid rotation, we could just dive whoever's in the back, honestly, as they're trying to go up to that right side. Unless they go like all the way in the back there, around the right side, real slowly. Which, if they do that, they either abandon the weapons high grounds or they leave a vulnerable target there and we go kill them.
Okay. That sounds like a plan. How do they counter us if we engage early and get the Sigma off that high ground? If we're successful, what is their next move?
If we are successful at taking weapons or not.
Yeah, if we are able to get the Sigma off that high ground, what does the enemy do?
I mean, probably initially they're gonna probably back to the back wall around the corner, come around, and try to set up in areas where they can poke us out from that area.
From where?
So like if like on the basically if they kind of like back up a little bit toward their spawn and then come out around the then go to the left here. I'm thinking the rotation is kind of like somewhere around this way, and then you've got sight lines up onto the high ground, like just right from there. That would force me back into the room at the very least.
Okay. Yeah, that was my next question. What do we do if they do that?
Yeah, and that would pretty much necessitate that because I'm not jumping out. That would be terrible. So I'd have to back up into the weapons room, which I suppose they could also, if depending on how they were doing it, if they were trying to be like super clever, they might actually send someone here to poke, and then send actually from like around the underside. They could actually get up into that room, and actually have my backside as well as I was backing out of there.
So that's. I think if they do this, this is when we can take this high ground.
Gotcha.
Is when they make that decision.
That
But-
makes sense. Yeah.
Wow, it's just like a game of chess, right? Just if they are here, then we cannot, like, we either force them out or we play here. If we are able to force them off of here, then they go here. If they go here, we go here. And all this time, whenever they're trying to make that rotation, that's when we try and find a dive. We use an ultimate like
But he's gonna
EMP.
be out of position. We'll kill him. Yeah.
Yep.
Makes sense.
We're
All about
forcing
just
mistakes.
angles and yeah.
Guess they haven't had enough.
you have to die as soon as possible. Yep. So we shouldn't have jumped away.
Yep.
We know both our supports are dead because of the bomb. So everyone, maybe except the Sombra. Sombra can stay back.
Yeah.
But and maybe Tracer. But both tanks should be dying on point.
Right. Yeah.
Like right, it should have been like Kurt was here when bomb went off. So that's okay. We just push really hard onto their BAP, maybe. Or just onto one person. Just throw our bodies at them and hope we get the kill. At very least, we die on point. We get our good spawns. We get to engage in front of, hopefully, our next kill box up here. Or, I mean, the kill box is down here. But we get to set up here.
I got you.
So, that is ideal. But when we stagger ourselves, like both tanks just did, then that's when we don't get kill boxes that we want. You gotta die smart.
Through the miracle of science.
I am under attack.
Oh, we did it. We did it. We jumped up. See? Oh, we should have jumped up again. Or jumped to the bus. Or use Primal.
Experience tranquility. Further experimentation required.
I like taking this high ground.
Unfortunate.
Nice.
Very up. Look out, world. I'm on a rampage. Ouch.
Payload best support. Look, we're on fire. We're so clean. That is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, we should have taken advantage of that bomb. Just use the height that we got and get out of there. We do not want to be landing back into their team after that.
Yeah.
So we leave just in time. Oh, that's not good.
Yep.
Could be worse.
It's
Well,
unfortunate, but like,
yeah.
that's what it is.
I think you could have lived there. Kitty was just a little worried. You're at 80 health. Only the diva can see you.
Yeah.
They have Mei now. Ash is dead. Whatever. It's not your choice. Take the high ground. Rip.
Did I hit a platform there? Is
Yeah,
that
you
what
hit a
happened?
platform.
Pretty sure. Yeah. Playing Frogger and Overwatch. Feels bad.
30 seconds remaining.
Nox is getting dunked on. Ooh, see? That's the rotations we're talking about. Unfortunately, Nox is gone. And Emmy is
Yeah.
miles away from the fight. So, it's very difficult for us to be able to push on to that. But, like, we got the EMP. Those are the kind of rotations that we want to punish.
Yep.
Like, we're playing here. They, like, we still do have another chance. It looks like they're going to be trying to rotate into this
Yeah.
room. We want to
Right.
stop them before they rotate through here. If they decide to do that. That's where they should be trying to get to. So, if we can do that, that is great. We missed
See
the
what we
first
do.
one. That's okay. Not everyone was ready. Okay. They opted to play it more. I mean, actually, this is fine. Like, and if they knew where you guys were, this is definitely the correct decision. We were just late here. This is a little too late. They've gotten... There's still... Our sports have rotated away. Like, Frank is on the edge of dropping. So we're not in the worst condition. But we definitely gave up more space than we would have wanted to.
Yeah.
But we've engaged. We're starting the engagement. It was a good engage. Yeah, and it looks like we're still gonna get it. So that's really good.
Operating at optimal levels.
Oh, nice! Look at that tech. Bounces off the platform. He's
That was
crazy.
definitely planned.
OG, you got nothing on this guy. Rip, jump up. Oh, we don't have it. Oh, barely. Save your Zen. Oh, nope.
Pardon me.
Activating self-destruct sequence.
Oh, dodged it like a champ. Oh, that was not a good position to use our bubble there. We're being pocketed by Moira. We're fine. Hope that doesn't cost us. Oh, look at that reload tech. I like it. And we die. We're alive. We're dead. Okay. Keep using your jumps there. Like, we were playing so safe there. They only had their Rhine and their Moira. We have our whole team behind us.
Right.
We saw how long we lived when we're literally in the middle of them. I mean, we're going to see that's a common trait that Valkyries aren't keep missing what's directly in front of them. But still,
Sure.
like, they did not have a lot of people. Really should have been more aggressive there. That might cost us if we can't get Luna here. Well, we get Luna. Is it enough? They got their Moira back. Nice, EMB.
Into the eye.
Okay. Do we win?
Probably not.
No?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Do you remember, Emmy? Emmy?
Yeah. Hello?
Do we win?
I believe we did not. No.
Oh, that's sad.
It's all right. This stalls.
Yeah.
They,
It looks like you guys
already,
would have been able
we
to.
already lost a while ago, but yeah.
well, yes, that's also true. So,
True. Alright, you know what? I haven't seen Volskaya. Let's look at Volskaya. Same thing.
Alright.
Looking for the same things here. Oh, actually, I have another VOD review in a second, so I guess I can't. Okay,
Okay.
so what I'm going to
Still.
answer some questions. Starting with Emmy.
Yes.
Questions.
Like in general?
Yeah, about what we looked at? Or anything else?
Not really. I usually just get questions during rather than after, because after I get it told to me what I did wrong.
So you're good. You're going to be perfect.
Yeah. I mean, until the next one.
Yeah, until I play, then I will be.
Yeah.
Okay, alright. That's a good way to look at it. Lux?
So, when it does come to stalling out cards and whatnot, like obviously, over prioritizing.
Actually, at the end, there, I was going to applaud you. I think on third point, you did a really good job.
Yeah,
not
on a few.
going on the
Yeah,
card.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, on third point, there was it was definitely a lot more. But so, like, let's talk like finding the line, right? So like at what like is it a number of people for you? Is it like just kind of understanding that like in X circumstance, like it is not your job to do that? Is it like just purely positional? Like, how are we looking at that? Like,
I mean,
when do you go to cart? Is what I'm
do you
getting
go to cart? Well, that is, I think, as a tank, you have the ability to create space, move people away from space, and especially when you're on Monkey. We're gonna specifically talk about Monkey here.
Yeah.
Monkey can contest people like on the high grounds, like we saw, that other people on your team cannot, like except for Diva, and maybe
Right.
Sombra. Sombra uses the translocator, but Sombra doesn't want to do that.
doesn't really want to be doing that. No.
Right. So it's kind of, you are the only person who has the ability to deal with those people outside of
Yeah.
Diva. So you can communicate that with your Diva, if you have one, and see who can get onto this high ground. If Diva's not there, then just say, I'm going onto that high ground, because someone has to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like, do you win if you're able to get the kill on the person on the high ground, or at very least remove their really good sight line onto the point?
Yeah,
Maybe.
makes sense.
But do you win? Maybe. Most likely not. But do you win by letting them stay on the high ground, either providing a lot of support for their team, or it's a DPS and doing a lot of damage to your team uncontested? No, you're not going to win that. So
It's to put it how PVDDR put it. This is a situation of knowing when to play to win and when to play to not die. So
right. Well, I don't know. I always have the motto: you should always be playing to win. I think
Well-
if you're going on the point there and not dealing
There's-
with the high ground,
well, yeah, but like you know, but to kind of flesh out like what these two like modes are, it's the idea of
Right.
if given what we see, if it just draws out to its natural conclusion, you will be the winner eventually. Then you're not playing to win, you're playing to not lose. And by playing to not lose, you're figuring, okay, how does this situation get turned against me? I play to counter that and that and that, rather than what's in front of me. And playing to win is all about just being like, I don't care if there are ways this goes wrong. If he doesn't have, you know, if he's got the counter spell, he's got the counter spell. You know, play to win. But,
yeah.
yeah, makes sense.
All
to me.
right.
So.
Well, with that, we're gonna end it there.
Okay.
Stop the recording.